Hi, today I want to talk about something which is pretty interesting for new coaches and even for experienced coaches. And it's based on the book Coach the Person, Not the Problem by Chad Hill, MCC. According to Chad, there are three ways to approach a coaching session. One is where you're coaching the problem, where you're taking on the role of a consultant and not being a coach. The second is when you're coaching the problem through the person or your client. And the third one is when you coach the person for internal change. Now let's talk about each one of these approaches and see how we are working with our client during the coaching session itself. When you're coaching the problem, you're putting the attention on the problem and you want to know more details about the issue itself. Then as a coach, you start thinking about the problem instead of actually listening to the coaching. Now, when you say, tell me more, or what happened, and when the client starts giving you more and more details about the problem or the situation, as a coach, you start getting deeper and involved in the problem. And as you start giving out the solution or even leading them towards a solution, the coachee might not own the decision or the outcome that comes out. There is no learning, there is no growing of any sort, and transformational change is not happening for the coachee. A step further from this is when, as a coach, you're coaching the problem through the person itself. Now, the coach is still trying to solve the problem through the coachee. The client is still focused on the problem, whereas now the coach is focused on the client. This is one step better. In doing so, the coach might ask questions such as, what are you learning from this situation? What are you doing well? What could you be doing differently or better? Or where else can you be applying this learning in your life? The coachee might have a better picture on how to go forward, and certainly there is ownership since they have been only working on the problem or thinking about the solution. However, the deeper and emotional aspects of the client is not explored here. Which brings us to the third part, or the third approach, which a coach could be taking. And in this approach, the coach invites the client to concentrate on himself or herself. So rather than diving into finding a solution, the coach might ask questions such as, what does the situation reveal about you? What has to change inside of you in order for you to deal with this? And in asking these questions, the assumption is that the problem at hand is more a reflection on how the client sees himself or herself rather than the problem being the main focus of the coaching session. And with this approach, the client is gaining insight into himself or herself and has a chance to create some transformational change from within. Now, as a coach, I have seen that I keep slipping between approaches 1, 2, and 3, depending on where my client is and also where I see myself during the session itself. So one of the things that might be very useful is to use the process, be faithful to it, and continue to coach the person for internal change. Thank you for listening.